Shalom, Ka'ala Yahweh, Bashim Ashai, Bashim Kokodash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who are the house of David, reborn again in this generation. And Shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, who before losing their true heritage were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about regaining our lost heritage and how the wise people of the world are at a total loss. But let's read this first. This is Proverbs 9:13. A foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple and knoweth nothing.
Who have suppressed her mother homeland religion and her African roots by telling her the ethocentric view of Christianity she must accept to fit into your society.
Good. Now listen to her speak. And I've spoken? Now, ma'am, have you accepted Jesus Christ into your life because white people have forced you or brainwashed your mom and dad?
No, it's clear. You can look at the Bible and see that he obviously doesn't agree with slavery.
Good.
And that slavery was taken out of context and twisted what the Bible said to fit something that was economically profitable at that time.
Do you know your ancestors? Do you know your great-grandmother, your grandmother before that? Do you know where they came from?
Yeah.
And where did they come from? What's their history?
Africa, being brought here as slaves.
And do you know anything about their oral traditions? Do you know what they believed in Africa? Do you know what tribe they belonged to? Or has your history been stolen from you?
Just because I'm not there now, that's not to say I would still be there even if people had, even if the slave trade hadn't existed. That's not to say that I would have stayed in Africa anyway. I could have ended up in Europe or here just as easily.
But do you not want to know about your ancestors and their time when they were in Africa? Do you not think it's worthy? Do you not think their culture is worth something? Or do you prefer the culture that has been given to you by the white people?
I don't think making me a follower of Christ means I don't want to know my history and ancestry.
Maybe you haven't sought out that information. I can tell you everything about my ancestors.
Okay, that's not a case for against Christ anymore. If I could do the research and tell you history about my ancestors as well, that's still not going to change the truth of Christ.
That's a very good point. Did you get it?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Good. That's a very good point. 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 Did you get it?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Good. Think about it.
So as you just seen this video of these college students, I think that was a debate class or something, right? And the gist of the debate is, are you Christian or because of the culture that has been given to you, right? And that Edomite girl, you could totally tell, man, she was reeking with that feminist vibe and stuff, man. She thought she was, well endowed with wisdom and knew what she was talking about, man. Right? When the fact is that neither of them knew what was going on, man. The Edomite woman or that Judite woman, man. Right? Even though the Judite woman held better, according to the knowledge of this world, right? She stood on some logical truths, saying that, it wasn't because of what was given to her that she would be, drawn to the Messiah or the truth, and that, she also could go back and research her history. But notice where this argument, fell short, man. It fell short when you understand that the truth of what's going on in the world right now, the true narrative of what's happening, is the narrative of the Bible, and that is something spoken about only in ancient history. Things which are not spoken about or gone into unless you specifically go for that field of study in a college level course in history or in biblical studies. And even on that point, they never even get, or they hardly ever touch upon what actually is the matter in ancient history, man. Right? And this is why this is written. This is 1 Corinthians 3:19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. You see that? Because the Lord, to hide his truth, to hide his word from the people of this world, from the Israelites and also the other heathen, especially these Edomites, right? He's gone ahead and done everything that we've experienced throughout humanity, known as history, okay? From the numerous wars to the displacing of ourselves, right? Of other nations, so that way everybody, for the most part, is mixed now. You know, you have certain, groups that have, homogenized together, right? You still have the 18 nations, but for the most part, everybody's mixed up. Every one of the 18 nations is pretty much mixed up into three categories: the son of the righteous, which would be the Israelites, right? The Negro, Latino, Native Indians, and anybody whose father's lineage goes back to that line, right? So again, the first group, the sons of the righteous, the sons of God, the sons of man, which are just the other 16 heathen nations out there, and the sons of the wicked, right? The so-called Caucasian race, the Edomites, man. These are the three, groups that every 18 nation is now categorized within now. And with all this mixing and all these lost of history, and then on top of all that, man, just the general consensus of modern society not wanting to be religiously based, man. Right now, you have a huge withdrawal from the church because people are starting to, fall for the propaganda that's getting pushed right now, man. That the church is off, which it is, right? Because the church is ultimately set up as a system to replace a culture of the Israelites, man, right? Because these devils got rid of us Israelites, right? Through history and everything that happened. Now, but they couldn't get rid of the book or the explanation behind the book, man, because there's spiritual protection on it. So what happened? Religion came into the scene, man, and people started, taking the scriptures, misinterpreting them, and now they've included the entire world as those who are going to be saved, when the Bible speaks very contrary to that, man, because the only people who are going to be saved are the 144,000 elect and the 1/3 out of Israel. That means 1 out of every 3 Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians upon the earth today will be saved. Everybody else will literally have to die off or go through the end time Armageddon events, right? Only to survive and see the 1/3 and the 144,000 of Israel coming back down on the ships to be the new rulers of the world, and then live through the resetting of humanity, right? Heaven on earth, right? But these both women, so back to that video, right? Both of those women were foolish, man. One, because that girl, she comes from a stance that, that people wouldn't believe in a higher power if it wasn't pushed upon them, right? Like I stopped it on that video and I kept repeating it at 1:44. It said, man, this is a good point. Do you get it, right? And that girl couldn't get it, man, because she was all logic. She's all about, she has no faith, man. I doubt she even believes in anything, man. She's more likely an atheist feminist and stuff, right? Now, when you look at that Judite girl, even though she was in better standing in this argument, unfortunately, she didn't know where she came from, right? The best she thought is she went back to some tribe in Africa. And why is that? Well, because it hasn't even crossed her mind. It tells you in the scripture that our people would forget that we were the Israelites, man. This is Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Right? And this was a prophecy which has become reality, man. We, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, are living through this prophecy right now. Now, us Israelites who have woken up and have returned to our heritage, right? We are now emerging from this prophecy by looking around, right? Looking around at our people, our families are still under this curse, man. They have forgotten who they are, and a lot of them don't even care. Right? It tells you in the scripture that what is it? It's the about the donkey knows its mouth. There it is. This is Isaiah 1:3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. Right? And that woman, that Judite woman, man, she didn't even consider that she was an Israelite, man. Right? And that's why she's really drawn to a higher power, why she's drawn to there being a father in the, up in heaven, man, that she's into, man. Didn't even consider that she is a descendant of the Israelites. And that's because she has been made wise with knowledge, but not with wisdom, right? She has been deceived by the devil, man. She's taken a bite of the serpent's, fruit, or the fruit from the garden, which the serpent told her to eat, man, which is happening all over again when you look at the women of our society, man. These Edomites, which basically are the descendants of that serpent in the garden, have tricked the women into thinking that they can be as men, right? Because when you go back and you read that scripture that says, ye shall be as gods, notice the gods is a little g, right? That would be the Israelite men, man. So these women have been tricked into thinking that they will become as men, and they don't need a man, right? But look at what's happening now, man. Society is falling apart when it comes to the family structure. These women aren't happy. That, you could always hear about stories about women, regretting, that they didn't have families, that they're too old now, and they don't really care about their careers, right? So this is happening all over again, right? And that's the thing about the Bible, man. It reverberates throughout time, right? First, it takes a literal event that happened in the Bible that recreates itself over and over again spiritually, man. And that's because the Lord, when he speaks, his words are living words, man, right? Because he's a higher dimensional being, his words he doesn't just say it once and then that's it. Those words reign true throughout all our existence. This is why when you read the Bible, it has that, you could read something and it applies to today, right? And then also, let's go and read this. This is Baruch 2:30, right? This right here is a future prophecy that is actually happening now, right? This is a prophecy of the Bible that says, though, once we would forget ourselves, we will come back to our remembrance. This is Baruch 2:30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities, right? Captivities more than one, they shall remember themselves, right? And right here, the Lord is talking about the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, man, right? And though we were sent into captivities all over the world and scattered to all the four corners of the world, right? We now in our lands, right? Because look up Great Millstone, man. Great Millstone is a worldwide organization, man. This truth has gone global, like it tells you in the scripture, man. That this truth would be preached throughout the whole land, and then the end would come. That's happening now, right? And Great Millstone is at the forefront of that, because we're out there pushing the truth of the Bible, right? We're out there pushing the truth of the Lord's words, right? And right, because of that, our people are remembering themselves, right? Not because their pastor Porkchop is out there telling them that they're the Israelites. No, on the contrary, man, their pastors out there are trying to lull their people back to sleep, right? Telling them that not to listen to the Hebrew Israelites, right? You see, what's happening now, Akim, is that prophecy is playing out, right? And the thing is that not a lot of people are going to get this, man. So again, the reason why I made this video is because I wanted to show all you Akim and Akwathim out there who are awoken to this truth, man, that you understand this, that how lucky you are and how blessed and how much mercy the Lord had on you to spare you from being a smart dummy, right? Because those people that you've seen in those videos, man, they were smart dummies, man. They thought they had it, right? They thought they were good, right? But the Lord's gonna, turn their backs off pretty soon, man. And that's because they were not chosen. They were not chosen to get this truth. Now you, on the other hand, you are in a very privileged position. You understand what's going on in this world. So because of that, consider that, man, and, give praise to Yahweh B'Shem Shai, right? That's the proper way you call upon his name, man. Right? And I've been seeing a lot of videos lately, man, that people, I guess people just don't understand when you respect a name, you say it properly. You don't just say Yah or all praises to the Most High, the Most High. You don't say things like that, man. You capitalize the words of their names, man. Don't be out there spelling Yahweh or Yahweh Shai with lowercase letters, man. Right? They should always be capitalized. And when you say the names of the Father and the Son, you should always be saying them in that order. Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai, right? So hopefully this video was edifying, Akim. So until the next time, I want to give all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Shai, B'Shem Kokodash, the waters, my teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.